first couple, 12 games of Connecticut and New York and teams like that. So we've already experienced what it felt like to lose, and you go to appreciate, the evolution of the game, the players that came in it.
From injury scare to playoff hero, that's Kelsey Mitchell's story. And it's not just about her, it's about every underdog who's been counted out. If you've ever felt like the odds were stacked against you, you're going to love what Mitchell's about to do in these playoffs. Have you heard of Kelsey Mitchell's miraculous playoff performance? ESPN completely overlooked it. They're acting as though the Indiana Fever had no chance, but they're going to get a huge surprise, I can assure you. Mitchell has returned and is prepared to take the world by surprise.
Those shots and those, you get in a position to make plays down the stretch of games.
Group, and I think that after this, ensuring that what we do bring to the table has value.
I would want to ask you for a tiny favor before we continue. Would you kindly take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content? More than 98% of you see the videos without becoming subscribers. It doesn't cost you anything, but for us, it really matters. Did you then press the subscribe button? Fantastic. I really appreciate it. Let us return to the video. And what could possibly be more absurd than Mitchell's return? How ESPN is handling Caitlin Clark and the Fever. As the Fever gear up for their playoff match, something stormy is developing off the court. Fans are perplexed by ESPN's portrayal of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. What is known that we are unaware of by the sports mogul?
And I think for us, it was about keeping the main thing. The main thing is stay focused on that. And this game was about rebounding.
Without you, because I know what the bottom felt like.
For a moment, let's discuss ESPN's projections. They are behaving as though the Sun is going to crush the Fever. In fact, some pundits are discussing a series sweep. Is that really true? It seems as though they have forgotten that Clark was named to the All-WNBA first team and won Rookie of the Year. That is not only excellent, but it's truly exceptional rookie play. Here's when things get crazy though. The squad that ESPN believes the Fever are not the same. Yes, going 2-9 was a difficult start for them. But hey, what do you know? In the second part of the season, they changed the storyline.
I think that people fail to realize that basketball is something that takes time. You don't just come in and you get it right off the bat.
We're talking about a 15-7 run that has everyone scratching their heads, aside from ESPN. Not to be overlooked is Kelsey Mitchell. She's been really good, scoring 20 points or more in 7 straight games. A streak like that has the power to alter playoff series. However, ESPN, they are behaving as though Mitchell is just another basketball player. Do you know what's truly absurd? The Fever hasn't made the playoffs since 2016. They have ended the WNBA's longest-running postseason skid. That's a resurrection, not just a comeback. ESPN, though, seems to have missed the memo.
Especially with players like Angel, and so get them off the glass and then run. And so I think that focus kind of maintained throughout the course. We're tired and we're going to be able to withstand a lot of these matches down the stretch. So
the Fever rely heavily on Mitchell's scoring. Here's the trouble. She scores 19.6 points a night on average. That's not just excellent, it's revolutionary. It goes beyond only her arguments, too. Everyone else, notably Clark, has more opportunities because of her presence on the court. But ESPN is wearing blinders. They're missing the amazing voyage of the Fever because they're fixated on the Sun's previous achievements. It appears as though they are watching a separate league. But you know what? The Fever may need this just the way it is. With all this disregard, with all these skeptics, fuel is that. That is the kind of thing that energizes a group.
The mates, and so we tend to work out and train together on the off-season side, and I wouldn't expect it. So we just do what we can. We embrace it. I'm pretty sure our organization can feed off of it.
Clark, Mitchell, and the other members of the Fever, these days they're not simply trying to win. Their goal while playing is to disprove everyone. Envision entering that court with the knowledge that one of the world's largest sports networks believes you have no chance. It is not under pressure. That serves as inspiration. That's what underdogs fantasize about. Great teams can overcome obstacles, but the Sun are a brick wall rather than just another barrier. This series might become a game of chess where every move matters because of the intense competition that is developing between Clark and Carrington.
People here, but we try to keep the main thing, but I will be honest and say, so one half of the record is I salute people like her.
The Fever aren't merely taking the court by storm, they are approaching a stronghold on defense. The Sun had a 28-12 record at the end of the regular season and lead their season series versus Indiana 3-1. That is not only excellent, but also powerful. Here's when things get crazy though. The Fever are not the same squad that they were when the season began.
About where I started as a player and where the Fever organization was and where it is now.
Recall their 15-7 run that they had. In the playoffs, momentum like that has the power to alter everything, and the Sun could be in for a surprise now that Mitchell is back in the game. For a moment, let's discuss that competition between Clark and Carrington. It involves more than just a two-player match. It's about the collision of two radically dissimilar gaming styles, Carrington's lockdown defense versus Clark's attacking firepower. It's similar to witnessing an immovable object collide with an unstoppable force. Know what's absurd? This season, the Sun has defeated the Fever in its first 3 meetings, but in their previous encounter, the winner was the Fever. That's a declaration rather than merely a victory. They seem to be saying, "We've got you figured out." Imagine Mitchell and Clark playing together in the backcourt right now. Mitchell has averaged 28.3 points per game since the Olympic break. That's not just excellent, it's revolutionary.
People like C-squared, even this group, that draft class that came out, they've...
Clark too? She is no longer just a rookie. She is a formidable opponent. Regarding his time spent with Mitchell, Clark stated the following: "I believe that Kelsey has been an extremely outstanding basketball player. She only makes things easier for me when your backcourt is a 1-2 combination." That's a warning to the rest of the league, not just some friendly banter. But let's not get carried away. The Sun remain a formidable force on defense. In the regular season, the Fever's defensive rating was 11th. That's not very good. And facing a group such as the Sun, that would be like attempting to score with 5 Diana Carringtons on your team. Carrington, by the way, isn't simply another defender. She and Clark had a past.
You got to appreciate, the evolution of the game, the players that came in it.
And you grow to appreciate them because all you ever wanted was to.
For her, this is a personal series as much as a playoff one. And the whole dynamic of a game may shift because of that kind of rivalry. What does this all mean for the Fever then? It implies that they are up against a test as much as a squad, a showcase for their offensive versus one of the league's top defenses. A matchup with a squad that has had their number all season long to test their newfound momentum. A showcase for their best players versus a defense designed to stop them.
We all kind of said it, and I think we had that focus, especially with players like Angel and so.
The problem is, though, these kinds of tests, it's them who make good teams into exceptional ones. It's already established that the Fever can defeat the Sun. All they need to do now is act when it counts most. Although Mitchell's return is incredible, what happens next will astound you. Consider the Sun to be tough? Hold off until you learn about the monsters that will be revealed in later rounds. These are the teams that have the power to make or break Indiana's incredible journey. Assume the Fever defeat the Sun and cause an upset. Do you believe their struggles will finish there? Not even near. The Minnesota Lynx might be their next opponent, and trust me when I say that they are not to be taken lightly. The lockdown defense of the Lynx is well known. It's like trying to score goals all at once on a squad of 5 Diana Carringtons. Consider this: stepping onto the floor against the Lynx were Mitchell and Clark, just off their triumph against the Sun. While the audience is going crazy, it seems like striking a wall once the ball enters play. The Lynx are suffocating, not simply adept at defense. Every pass is disputed, as are all of the shots.
We can only get stronger, and I think going forward, you only see our group get tighter.
I want to feel that. I want to feel that discomfort all the time.
It's the kind of defense that causes even the most accomplished players to doubt their abilities. This is where things become really fascinating, though. The Fever may play the Phoenix Mercury in the semifinals if they can figure out how to break through the Lynx's coding. Fans would be on the edge of their seats for that matchup. Consider this: the youthful, promising Fever taking on the experienced Mercury in a fight.
Oh man, I just think that our pace alone is, not a lot of people want to play fast.
My team and what we got going on right now, the record can mean nothing to me.
It's similar to seeing the WNBA's past, present, and future clash on the same court. The Mercury possess star power, championships, and experience. What about the Fever, though? They possess that insatiable desire and that peevish attitude. At this point, they're gambling with house money, not to mention the star power in such possible showdown. Facing out against some of the most renowned names in women's basketball is Mitchell and Clark. This is the kind of show where endless highlight clips might be produced.
I've never not wanted, good for, the people around me.
Keeps making teams better, and I think C-Square has done that for us, and I think now it's about focused on taking it to the next step.
The thing is, though, that Mitchell and the Fever have an opportunity to show themselves at every turn on this voyage. These days, it goes beyond simply winning games. It's all about putting out a message. It's about proving to ESPN and everyone who doubts them that they are here to compete, not just to take part. Recall what Christy Sides, the head coach of Indiana, stated. She underlined how crucial stronger defense is. That defense will be put to the test, though, against clubs like the Lynx and Mercury.
I think the main thing, we knew that Chicago had a lot of up and down as far as their roster.
Speaking about improvement is one thing, but actually putting it up against some of the league's top offenses is quite another. However, you know what's absurd? This kind of challenge is just what makes good teams become exceptional ones. Mitchell, Clark, and the rest of the Fever have opportunities to improve with every game and every series, to acquire knowledge, to improve. And for a moment, let's be honest, nobody anticipated the arrival of the Fever. Instead of participating in the playoffs, they were meant to be at home watching them. But now they have the opportunity to create a lot of noise.
Appreciate it with a young PG. I get the best of both worlds. She's young, and she likes to play fast. So I out of Indiana. So I think for us, we're going to utilize this energy for as much as we can possibly use it.
Not only is that astounding, but it's the stuff of legends. Consider the narrative they are crafting, from a 2-9 beginning to the postseason. With Mitchell, we went from a possible injury tragedy to having her back for the postseason. From being written off by ESPN to standing a chance against some of the league's top clubs. That's a movie plot waiting to be written, not simply a response. The best aspect, though, is that we get to see everything happen in real time. Every play, every game, every second is an opportunity for the Fever to take the world by surprise. What about Mitchell? She has the opportunity to solidify her place among the top players in the game.